Novel theories about who killed JFK are nothing new, but the man behind the latest theory may startle you. Castro confidant, CIA operative, and Watergate burglar Frank Sturgis. He says the plot to kill Kennedy was executed by the KGB. What did the Beatles have to do with the overthrow of communism in Czechoslovakia? Today, Jack Anderson reports on the John Lennon connection.
Welcome to Inside Edition. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We're glad you're with us today. Can you believe all the mania over The Simpsons? What is going on here? A little later, we'll report on the Simpson madness. But up front today, the most important mystery of the 20th century, the murder of President John Kennedy. According to the polls, most Americans believe there was a conspiracy to kill JFK. But there are so many theories, it boggles the mind. There is one man, however, who is in a position to know a lot about the assassination. And now, for the first time, he tells a most compelling story.
As a result of the effort which this country has made, this is a sad time for all people.
It is November 1963. President Kennedy is assassinated. Lee Harvey Oswald is named the killer. The United States is in turmoil. What really happened? It is spring 1990, and this ordinary-looking man says he knows who killed John Kennedy and why. The man is Frank Sturgis, one of the most notorious soldiers of fortune in the world. And now, after 27 years of silence, he speaks exclusively with Inside Edition. Who killed John F. Kennedy?
KGB agent.
You're positive of that?
Yes.
In this age of glasnost, that is a provocative and potentially damaging statement that some do not take seriously. That might be a mistake. Frank Sturgis first became known to Americans when, as a member of the so-called plumbers, he was arrested and convicted of breaking into the Democratic headquarters at the Watergate Hotel in June of 1972. The ensuing scandal, Watergate, led to the resignation of President Nixon, and Sturgis spent 14 months in prison. But that was just one in a long line of shadowy missions for Frank Sturgis. In the 50s, he fought alongside of Fidel Castro, and when Castro took over as Cuban dictator, Sturgis was his chief of Air Force intelligence. But all the while, Sturgis was a double agent, informing the CIA of Castro's every move. It is because of his Cuban, American, and Soviet intelligence contacts that investigators take Frank Sturgis seriously.
I don't think you can ignore Frank Sturgis.
Gaten Fonzie investigated the assassination of President Kennedy for the U.S. House of Representatives. He knows Sturgis well.
Frank was one of the most fascinating people I've ever met in my life. Just an incredible guy. He did everything during the course of his life, was in every military service, and you just couldn't pin this guy down.
Since his Watergate conviction, Sturgis has kept a very low profile, but has maintained close ties to Cuba. It is there, he says, that the plan to kill President Kennedy began.
The person who really wanted to see our president killed was Fidel Castro. And through the events that followed, the KGB was in the planning with the Castro brothers for the attempt and the killing of the president.
Why did Fidel Castro want to kill JFK? What pushed him to launch the assassination operation?
There were plots against Castro and his brother to kill them. I was involved in several plots to kill Castro or his brother Raul.
Who ordered you to kill Castro?
I'm not able to go ahead and tell you at the present time.
CIA did.
I will not answer that question at the present time.
Sturgis says KGB General Alexander Alexeyev was in charge of the assassination. Alexeyev was the Soviet ambassador to Cuba from 1962 to 68 and is now retired, living in Moscow. According to Sturgis, the plan began when former Marine Lee Harvey Oswald entered the Soviet Union in 1959. As the FBI has documented, Oswald stayed in Russia for about 2 years and then came back to America. Only Sturgis says it was not really Oswald who arrived back here. It was an Oswald look-alike, a KGB agent named Ivan Leo Astitavo. Sturgis says he saw official U.S. government records proving the existence of the Oswald double.
I saw the records that the The Oswald, the real Oswald of the Marine Corps, was taller, eyes different, scars on his body was different.
Then the Oswald that came out, the Oswald
came
double.
out, that was killed by Jack Ruby, certainly.
You saw the difference with your own eyes.
I saw the difference in the records, yeah.
Where are those records now?
Would be in the National Archives, where nobody can get them for 75 years.
Once in the United States, according to Sturgis, the Oswald double was ordered by his KGB superiors to kill JFK, and he had help. At least one other gunman fired in Dallas.
One or possibly two people behind the grassy knoll, but at least one who fired the shot that penetrated the throat of the president in front.
Who was that?
KGB agent.
A Russian agent.
A KGB agent.
Enter Jack Ruby. Sturgis says Ruby had a business association with Fidel Castro, and U.S. government investigators have uncovered information that Ruby may have been selling guns to Castro.
What role did Jack Ruby play in the assassination, the entire plot?
In the end, Ruby was ordered to help in the escape of Oswald after the assassination. And because of the screw-up that happened where Oswald was caught, the next order was for Ruby to kill Oswald.
One clarification here. When Sturgis refers to Oswald, he is talking about the KGB agent Astatavo, the Oswald double.
So Ruby killed Oswald in front of the American public. Why would he do that? He knows he can't get away.
Well, he was ordered to kill Oswald to save his own life. They told Ruby that what you would be doing in killing Oswald would be a very patriotic thing for the United States, and that you would only serve a very short time in prison and be released as a hero.
And Ruby bought that, huh?
Certainly he bought it. He knows that he could be eliminated at any time if he does not follow the orders.
So you're saying Ruby was working for the KGB?
Ruby was working for the Cuban intelligence service.
The Cubans?
Yes, sir.
You know that to be a fact?
Yes, sir, I do.
Soon after the assassination, Sturgis says the CIA and FBI brought evidence to President Lyndon Johnson, suggesting the Soviet Union was involved in JFK's murder. Sturgis says CIA contacts told him Johnson and his advisors were afraid to make the information public.
We were on the brink of nuclear war. If we go into a nuclear war, what would happen? Millions and millions of people on both sides would be just wiped off the face of the earth. So they devised a cover-up.
Part of that cover-up included switching bodies. The real Lee Harvey Oswald's body replaced Astatavo's.
There was a switch.
Body switch.
A body switch, yes. Because we have two Oswalds, not one.
So whose body is interred now?
Would be the real Oswald.
Your sources, the sources for the story, the incredible story you're telling us today. Cuban intelligence?
Yes, sir.
Russian intelligence?
Yes, sir.
U.S. intelligence?
Yes, sir.
So what you're really saying in this whole story is that the Soviet Union, through the KGB, successfully assassinated the President of the United States with the help of Fidel Castro and got away with it.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Sturgis told me he wants his story out because he himself has been accused of having something to do with the assassination. He says he is tired of hearing lies. Is his story true? For now, that remains a mystery as well.